It's all good, baby. It was all a dream.
Yes, Cuban B.
Oh, no one can hear me, apparently. There we go. It's an awesome start to the live streams. Here we go. Barry, I'm going to unmute you here. Did you hear the pre-roll? Do I have to do that again?
No, I heard pretty much everything except for you. But
okay.
I hear you now, and I heard the music on your, all good, baby.
There we go. Well, here we go. We're going to try this again. The Aqueduct Saturday $100 budget edition of the Notorious OTB on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And after the false start, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And, folks, as always,
it's all good, baby. It was all a dream.
We used to read Blood Horse magazine. I got my
Yes, Cuban B.
And I'm your host, Chase Sessoms, the Wolf of Oaklawn.
I'd rather be trapped than lazy. Don't care what they say, I'ma do what pays me.
It happens every year about this time. Weaklings act like they lost their mind. Alphas reclaim the neighborhood. Rob the sheep and all the wolves get good.
Yes. Welcome to the show. Joining me, as always, you might know him as the Michelangelo of the crime, Michael Jordan. He's your favorite capper's favorite capper. Ladies and gentlemen, Barry the Sniper Spears.
You know how we do. Rockefeller. Forever. You catch me skating through your town, putting it down. Y'all relating, no waiting. I'll make your block infrared hot. I'm like Satan.
I'm going to say this like a 40-year-old white man, which I almost am. Barry, how the hell are you?
I am fantastic on this freezing Thursday, my friend.
How does it feel to be live on the YouTubes now?
Oh, it feels good. I think it fits us pretty good, man. I think we were ready for it. So let's get this money. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. See, you feel good about it. This is how everyone else is probably reacting.
And what the fuck are you doing on TV anyhow? You know I get calls from back home every fucking day. They think you went batshit.
Yeah.
Well, it did go batshit, but that's another story for another time.
For sure. How's your day going, Barry?
Doing good, my friend. Doing excellent. Just waiting for this weekend's action, honestly.
I thought I was too cool for snow, but now that we've got like 8 inches of snow coming to the central Arkansas area, which they canceled Oaklawn for, I'm just staring out the window like, God, look at the majesty. Look at it. Where are the flakes coming? So yeah, that's it. I'm easily impressed. Let's go ahead and set up what we're going to be talking about today. Barry, we're going to be talking about Aqueduct Saturday card. That's this Saturday, January 11th, year of our Lord 2025. Post time for the card, 12:10 Eastern, 11:10 God's time, 9:10 Pacific time, on the Pacific Coast. And we're doing one of our $100 budget shows that the people love so much, where we can play any race, use any wager type, whatever makes that cash money. Barry, overall, what did you think of this card?
I thought early on it looked a little bit chalk-ish, and then later on, there's some opportunities on the back end of this card to make some money. So that's kind of how I approached this $100 budget. But we'll see. I mean, obviously they got to run the races.
Yeah, when I looked at it, I thought you're right. It looked very chalkish early, so I decided to skip out because I wasn't even sure if I could make money vertically or horizontally with some of these horses. But let's go ahead, man. Let's dive in. Before we dive in, though, don't forget the NFL playoffs are here. Make sure you tune into the Sports Gambling Podcast for all of your NFL picks and props. All right, here we go. Barry, your first play comes in race 2, I believe. Go ahead. What are we doing for the people?
Yeah. So my first play comes in race 2. It's going to be a $5 pick 3 going through race 4. We're not doing anything outstanding or outrageous here. More or less kind of a straightforward $5 pick 3 to get some money in our pocket to kind of build upon later. So in race 2, which is the ladies, I guess handicap, it doesn't really say, it just says the ladies B, 150,000 K, and I'm gonna go with the obvious choice here. Tizzy in the Sky has a little bit of a pace advantage over these. I really wanted kind of to bet against Julia Shining. She takes a lot of money a lot and typically doesn't win. So, you know, we're gonna bet against her here. I know Tizzy in the Sky is 4 to 5 on the morning line, but I think it's gonna be a little bit closer between that horse and Julia Shining just because of the connections. But we're gonna stick with Tizzy in the Sky as a single in this race, and then move on to race 3, which is a
Ladies, my Mercedes.
I had to shoehorn that in somehow. Yeah, let's move over to race 3.
That's the best one. So yeah, it's a $16,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. Not the greatest of competition on the grounds at Aqueduct, but we'll make the best of a situation here. We're going to use the 5 Conniving with Lane Leslie up. This horse seems to be kind of, or wants to be, a little bit behind everybody else. I think there's a lot of speed in this race, and that one can come running. At 4 to 1 morning line seems logical here. And also going to use York Tavern, who's projected to get kind of the same trip, has the buyers to fit this whole scenario. So we're just going to use those 2 in race 3. Moving on.
All right, moving on to race 4, 8 furlongs, $25,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime claiming going a mile.
So this race, I thought we could get some prices. I'm using 3 horses here. The 1, Big Rich, who was claimed last time, steps up into this level. I think has the running style and kind of the chops to compete at this level. I think the last run really showed the new owners and trainer a lot. So we're going to use Big Rich at 5 to 1. We're also going to use the 4 Conquered Spirit. And the reason we're using this horse, I think there's a situation where this horse could actually get to the lead and be lone speed. The horse that kind of projects the other speed is the 3 Just Be Honest. And I think this horse is faster. And if this horse gets the lead, there is a situation where this one could kind of run off and have the run of the race. So we're going to use the 4, and then we're also going to use the 5 Secret Treasure. Should also be a little bit forwardly placed. I don't think this pace is going to get too fantastically hot up front. Secret Treasure has some closing kick, so we're going to use that one at 6 to 1 to close out this pick 3.
Here we go, and it was a $5 pick 3. So I like the aggressive pick 3 because, one, the pick 3 pools in New York are always good anyway because of the $1 base wager. So hitting it for 5 times, if you can connect, I feel like you would probably get your $100 back and then some, most definitely.
Hopefully, I mean that's the plan. But you know, basically with this play, just trying to create some value early in the card, so we can spend it later in the card.
There we go. Well, we're going to take a step back to race 3. That's where I've got my first play. It's the 6 furlong, $16,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime claiming, like we talked about in the pick 3. I've got a $5 exacta here using 5, 6, Conniving and Always a Warrior on top over 1, 5, 6. And this felt like a good opportunity to try to beat the chalk, the number 7 York Tavern, and even try to beat him out of the exacta. York Tavern has decent speed figures, but he's got one problem. He just doesn't win. The horse hangs like a chandelier, so I'm going to try to kick this horse out of the exacta. Instead, I'm using 2 horses on top, the 5 Conniving at 7 to 2 and the 6 Always a Warrior. This might not be a very hot pace, but I do think that this ends up being a very contentious, kind of anxious pace with quite a few horses that want to be forwardly placed. But both of these can sit off the pace, about a length to 2 lengths off the pace. And Conniving seems to be rounding into form after being claimed into Figueroa's barn. If he can take a step forward to what he was doing in the previous barn, then he's got a chance. The 6, Always a Warrior, it has one of my favorite dirty little pig boy angles.
Little pig boy.
Could I get the definition?
Little pig boy. He's that pathetic, dirty bitch baby mistress gets to stand on.
He was eased/vanned off in the last start, and I'm not concerned about the horse's fitness because of the sharp workout on New Year's Eve after that eased performance. And then I'm adding the one Cam Duke at 9-2 underneath in second because, like I said, I don't think it's a fast pace, just contentious. And Cam Duke, should be the early speed in this race that either Conniving or Always Warrior has to get up over after, late. So that's how I'm playing it in the third. It's going to be a $5 exacta, 5-6 with 156 for a $20 play total. And then my next play comes in race 4, where Barry is wrapping up his pick 3. Once again, 8 furlongs, $25,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime claiming. I've got a $20 win here on the 7 Golden Purchase at 8-1. The 2 D-Day Sky and the 3 Just Be Honest both get weight breaks. I expect both to use those weight breaks by sending early. And if they end up locked in a pace duel, that means that a horse sitting in the second flight who gets first run should stand a pretty good shot to get up in this one. And I'm win betting number 7 Golden Purchase at 8-1 on the morning line because I think this is the horse that will get the stalking trip from about the 2 path and in the wave that will have first run. Sneaky angle at play here with the pet horse angle for Eduardo Jones, who also owns the horse. I like the aggressiveness in the move and the placement of this horse up from $16,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime to $25,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. After the horse ran a big race last out, no workout since October 20th, but this horse has been, what we say, raced into shape. And you can see the steadily improving speed figures since the last workout. So that's my play in the 4th, a $20 win on the 7 Golden Purchase. Barry, you got any thoughts on either one of those plays?
Yeah, I mean, the 4th race seems to be a little bit wide open. I think that's apparent by the way we actually played it. I'm using 1, 4, and 5 to end the pick 3, and you're singling basically the 7. So, and those are all prices. So I think that's a good race to attack in general. I'm not too enthused myself with D-Day Sky at all. So we'll see.
All right. Well, real quick, before we hit our next race, got to get a quick word in from our good friends at DraftKings. Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
All right, we are back, and what are we doing? Barry and I are giving out free picks.
And I make nothing. Zero. Zilch. By the time I pay all my scientists, all my people in my research department, lab coats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, baby Billy? Well, because I'm selfless.
That's right. Because we are selfless, and because we are selfless, Barry has his second play coming in race 5. It's a daily double. It's a 6 furlong, $80,000 maiden special weight. And Barry, take it away.
Yeah, I looked this race up and down pedigree wise and didn't really find much. But I thought that T Craft has a little bit of an advantage based on the company this horse has been keeping. He's been keeping pretty good company. If you see in the past performances, November 16th ran against Guns Loaded, who came back and won a stake at Gulfstream the other day. You see Patch Adams there in the October 11th race. He's a pretty good horse. Filoso is nice. Chancellor McPatrick had a nice year last year. Mentee, same thing. And I think getting to this race in particular, that brings a huge advantage. Plus, getting Lasix for the first time, I think Bill Mott is definitely angling to win this race, and that's beyond the actual favorite in the race, who would be 1/900, who looks okay, but I'd rather go with the experience in this case because of the fact that it's been against really good company. So we're gonna single T Craft in our daily double, in the race 1, which is race 5. So in race 6, which is a starter allowance for $50,000 starter allowance, horses that have never started or won for a claiming price of 50,000 or less. Now, the favorite in this race, Frizzante, the 1, not really too enthused with. Even though this horse ran a big number off the bench last time, it was really kind of an outlier, it seems, with the rest of this horse's body of work. 1 for 14 in a race where there's multiple winners doesn't seem like the move. And this horse doesn't have any significant advantages over anybody. His buyer numbers aren't outstanding by any means in comparison to the rest of the field. Just that last one, which I think might be a little bit overrated or overinflated due to the trip that this horse got. He got a pretty good trip on what was a decent rail. So we're going to just go away from that one, and we're going to use the class plays. The 4 Strapped, who ran very well at a similar level, and should get the run of the race here. There is some speed in here, and it should play quite fair. So I think Strapped will be a good option. Also, Melt With You kind of fits in the same mold. And the last horse we're going to use is the 7 Traffic Master, who probably will sit the best of trips here, from the outside, timing the speed on the inside, and being able to make that move at the top of the stretch and kind of pull away. So we're going to use the 4, 5, and 7 to close this daily double out. $10 daily doubles, so that's $30.
There we go. That's Barry's daily double starting race 5, wrapping up in race 6. And guess what, Barry? We are in the same race here. My next play comes from race 6, the same 9 furlongs, $50,000 allowance. I've got a $10 win on the number 3 Senegal at 12-1. I'm like the dude in the World Cup who is like, oh, I'm just gonna root for Senegal here. Might not have a chance.
Cameroon had a nice run in the World Cup back in the day.
Oh yeah. Those are my teams. If you put any variation of like red, yellow, and green together on your flag, then I'm probably gonna like your soccer team in the World Cup.
That's what's up, man.
All right. $10 win. That puts me in for 10 this race, 50 total on the 3 Senegal, 12-1. Inwardly drawn, low and early speed, going 2 turns at Aqueduct. Yeah, yes, and please. Senegal is pretty lightly raced in comparison with this field. Despite the fact that this one is facing winners for the first time, it's still low and early speed, and I'm probably going to take that shot more often than not. This is another aggressive placement, this time by Jeremiah Englehart, who takes this one out of a state-bred competition. Oh, where is it?
I was state raised. You think I'm scared to catch a case? What's some bullshit?
Into open allowance competition, and the step forward last out was significant, improving 13 points in the buyer speed figure department. And this horse could be a bounce candidate because of that big improvement, but I'm taking the shot that he won't. The work on January 3rd looks like the horse is ready to run and could steal it from the front. What did you kind of see the pace set up the same way I did here with Senegal?
It's kind of murky. I mean, you would expect the horse on the rail, Frizzante, to kind of gun it out of there, but there's a chance that Senegal is just faster naturally, and that's what we're gonna have to see, because if Senegal gets in front of Frizzante, it might be real trouble for everybody else.
I hope it's real trouble for everybody else but me. So let's go Senegal in race. What was that? 6. Okay. Barry, we're on to your next play. It's in the very next race, race 7. 8 furlongs, $45,000. 9 winners of 1 something. I'm not here to read your fucking conditions. Optional claiming. I've got to play here too, but Barry, you go ahead and take it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a $20 win bet on number 11, Fade to Gray. Now, this horse had 2 races back-to-back at 1 1/8 going 2 turns, and I don't think that is really what Fade to Gray wants to do. I like the 1-turn mile better. Even further than that, was favored in the last time this horse ran on December 6th at a slightly higher level than this, or kind of comparable, but was wide both turns, even got the lead and kind of gave it up as expected. The horse had a difficult trip and kind of faded late. I like the cut back to a mile, going 1 turn this time, and actually almost got a similar trip on October 19th at 1 1/8 at the same track, at the same distance. So I think this cutback is going to make all the difference. There's enough speed in here for this horse to kind of flank and move by everybody when it counts. And at 6-1, Todd Pletcher probably won't get too much action in this spot because there are some legit favorites in here. But I think Todd's going to turn the tables on him, and Kendrick Harmouche in the winner's circle, Fade to Gray.
I like it. Barry hopes to be fading to green after this
Yeah,
race with Fade to Gray.
Like green, money green.
See, I'm glad you saw what I was doing there. I'm glad I didn't have to explain myself because jokes aren't funny. By the way, I'm also glad that while we use the DRF formulator here on the DRF website, that I don't have just hundreds of Pornhub tabs open right next to the DRF up there on the header.
I hope not.
That's handy. That's
a save. That's good.
They banned Pornhub in my state, unfortunately. But big shout out to Reddit. You a real one. Here we go. My 4th play is in this race 7. I've got a $5 exacta, and it's a little bit of one of these.
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh?
I'm going to use 5-7 over 5-7-11. I thought that this should be an interesting pace setup with a ton of horses that all kind of want to run in the same place in this race shape. I think that the favorite is what we call a fake-ass Chad Brown, the number 2, Bells Beach. With the field this large, the exacta payout should be huge if we connect. And on top, I'm using the 5, Pride's Crossing at 7-2 for William Walton, who ran a big race going 7 furlongs in the debut at Churchill Downs when trained by Paulo Lobo. Shout out to fellow Wolf Paulo there. We're brothers in Lobo. And William Walton does extremely well with horses getting their first start in this barn. She managed to win last out, getting a stalking trip before making a middle move. And then I'm using the 7, Brown Sugar Babe, 8-1, also on top, because I think it stands to get a similar trip to Pride's Crossing and a cut back to a distance where she's been successful, winning 3 of her 6 starts. Jamie Ness, puts up Ruben Silvera, and that's a 21% combo when they link up. Underneath, I'm wheeling in Barry's horse, Fade to Gray. And I should get a wide stalking trip similar to the others in terms of placement in the race shape, and also gets a cutback. This one is tightening back up to the previous form. And if Pletcher can get this one to run back to the figure from the maiden breaker at Saratoga, then the horse is very competitive. I think he steps forward, but not necessarily that far. So I'm using underneath, especially with the wide trip being a little bit of a concern. So I was a $5 exacted there, 5-7 with 5-7-11. So no consideration for the 5 and 7, or are those ones that you thought and you just had to move on from?
I took a look at the 7, but I kind of felt like this pace might get a little bit hot. And the 5, I was just kind of curious of why this horse was, kind of training at Turfway and then ships to Aqueduct for this race, because the purses at Turfway are better, especially for this kind of spot. But Well, interesting. Something to take note of. But I just thought the pace would get a little bit hot, and Fade to Gray could kind of slide into a good spot.
I'm glad that you bring up that it's training at Turfway, because this is also another sneaky little dirty little pig boy angle. Horses training on synthetic, then making the move to dirt.
Little pig boy comes from the dirt.
It's a sneaky little surface change angle there, with the training on synthetic moving to dirt. So that's my play. 5-7 with 5-7-11. Before we get to our next play, got to get a quick word in from our good friends at Underdog. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports. Underdog is always making it easier to win with profit boosts and gimme pick'ems. Plus, Underdog Playoff Best Ball is now live. The Gauntlet Tournament has $2 million in prizes up for grabs for just a $25 entry. NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR, and more. So sign up with promo code SGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. And if you excuse me, I need to get a brief rehydration interlude in.
I got ice all over my body looking like a snowman. Big rocks in the grill dancing like a slow jam. My chain's so heavy I'm walking like an old man. Try me, you.
So my next play comes from race 8. It's my final play except for our bailout bets. Race 8, 6 furlong, $76,000. Non-winners of 1 something. Once again, not here to read your conditions. New York bred.
Steep raised. You think I'm scared to catch a case? Want some bullshit?
Allowance, and this is my strongest play on the card. I think in terms of possible payout. I've got a $10 exacta with 8 keyed over the 2, 5, and 11. There we go. Switching over to the 8. The 8 Kid Billy at 6-1 should sit behind the cavalry charge for the front, where I see about 6 horses that want to be evolved early in this big field. And Kid Billy's second off the layoff for Bill Mott. And if the last second off the layoff start is any indication, the Kid Billy is ready to take a big step forward again. Last out caught a slow pace with nothing to run into. I think that dirties up the running line where we get a fair price on Kid Billy. And should have something to run into and gets Les Cano up, who's winning at 23% this meet. Underneath, I'm using the 2, which if I get Kid Billy up, please God, let me get the 2 underneath. He has it all at 12-1. As my bomb that would set this thing off underneath. As I started saying in one of our episodes last week, I think I'm going to make a thing. We'll put Tiger Bomb on this exact as nuts. He has it. Yeah, that's the noise you make when you put Tiger Bomb on the old coin purse. He has it all. Should sit that inside rail up close stalking trip in the pocket, and we'll have a chance from a closer position to run into the pace, which mostly comes from out wide. The 5 Gray Wing at 7-2, the other horse I'm using underneath, is probably your most likely winner. But I'm using the price of Kid Billy and the upside instead. I mean, you've got 3 ascending buyer speed figures for Chris Englehart. So this one looks like it's ready to run. And then I'm using the 11 Tra Lad at 8-1. Tra Lad is the horse that will let everything develop in front of him and be running very late. I had this one way off the pace. This is exactly the kind of horse that dinks into the exacta passing tired horses that all wanted to run on the front. So, I like Kid Billy to come in first. I like Gray Wing getting a similar track. I could see these kind of, moving as a team late. But I do like the 11 Tra Lad to bring it up late, or the 2. He has it all to get, kind of sit in that same pack with Gray Wing and Kid Billy. I thought we get a pretty good price on the exact. I think I get a great price if I get Kid Billy on top. What do you think, Barry?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you should be all right there. I just have I'm like allergic to Finger Lake shippers into Naira tracks. I've told you this before, but yeah, I have no luck with them. And if I were to play them, they'd have to be like extreme bombs, like 30-1 ish and higher.
That's fair. I like whenever Finger Lakes shippers win because I yell Finger Lakes and it feels the slightest bit gangster. All right, Barry, that was my final play. That put me in for my $100. You saved your final play, and it's your bailout bet also. Where are you going in race 9? The 6 furlong, $74,000 New York bred
Deep raised. You think I'm
maiden special weight.
I'm going to the number 8, Late Night Boss. Let me say that again. Number 8, Late Night Boss, for Jeremiah Englehart. I particularly like this horse's works on November 24th and January 3rd, meaning that this horse broke from the gate in training and improved from one point to the other, gets Lasix. The sires gets winners. Street Boss, I mean, how many times have we seen Godolphin Street Boss horses win just with disregard for everybody else in the race? Plenty of times. So this first-time starter, I think, should be live. Gets Lascano up, who's having a really good meet so far. Jeremiah's having an even better meet, although he hasn't run a whole lot of horses, but he's 2 for 3 with 1/3. The outside horses, Vakinda out of Vacoma will probably take a lot of action, has speed, but I think this pace might heat up a little bit. And if Late Night Boss is prepared like I think he is, he'll sit right off that and just run away with this race.
There we go. So that puts Barry in for his $100. It was also his bailout bet, but I'm going to make him reiterate it because I've got a bit for this. Now comes the time where Barry and I serve up the juiciest morsels that we have in the final race to let you leave with a little bit of profit in your pocket. That's right. It's time for bailout bets.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
I really hope people say that in their head when we say bailout, even on the internet. Like when they see the word bailout, they hear that clip in their head.
My internal monologue is narrated by Denzel Washington. So
As
literally everything.
Either him or Morgan Freeman, right? Like those are the only two options.
When I'm feeling spiritual, Morgan Freeman, you know, it's whenever I need to go to church.
See, when I'm out in nature or at a park, it's John Attenborough or David Attenborough.
Oh, from Planet Earth?
Yeah.
I think it's David Attenborough.
I think it's David. Why did I say John? I don't know. But didn't he pass away? I don't know. But I still hear his voice.
David might as well be a John. It's not cool like Barry or Chase or anything, you know? It might as well.
Come on, they're confusing us.
Well, I got my bailout bet here, and Barry.
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
It is indeed number 8, Late Night Boss at 6-1. Because what do you do when the rest of the field has shown you that they suck? You take a horse that you can't definitely say sucks and go with a new shooter. I'm doing that with the 8 Late Night Boss for Jeremiah Englehart. Englehart's strong with first timers, and the sire, like you mentioned, Street Boss, Offspring winning a 24% clip at first asking. So, Barry, do you want to go ahead and reiterate your bailout bet, even though we know what it is?
Oh, yeah. It's number 8, Late Night Boss for the victory. I mean, we do pretty good when we land on the same horse in our bailout, by the way. I mean, we don't have stats. We're going to keep track from now on, I guess. But up to this point, I think we've done pretty good.
I think we should keep track in like a dirty old ledger book instead of doing like a spreadsheet.
Yeah, like an old school bookmaker. Like, you know, you had a notebook.
Yeah. Handwritten ledger that I hide in the air ducts of my home. So when the feds come, you know, they can't pinch me for tax evasion. I don't know where tax evasion comes in. It has nothing to do with it. But Barry, let's go ahead. Let's wrap up our bets for this $100 budget show for Aqueduct. What were your bets?
So in race 2, we're going to start this off with a $5 pick 3. The 1 with 5-7 with 1-4-5 for $30. Race 5, $10 daily double. The 3 with 4, 5, and 7, and that's $30. Then the 7th race, $20 to win on number 11, Fade to Gray. That's $20. And then the last 20 on our bailout late night boss in the finale, number 8 in race 9 for $20, and that's $100, my friend.
I think the last time we agreed on a bailout was last week, and it hit. Was it Sir Greenland at Oakmont?
Yes, that's right. Sir Grayland hit for the people.
For the people. Here are my plays. I kicked it off in race 3. I had a $5 exacta. It's a $20 total play. 5-6 with 156. In race 4, I was in for another 20. It's a $20 win on the 7 Golden Purchase at 8-1. My next play was race 6, a $10 win on the number 3 Senegal at 12-1. Then in race 7, a $5 exacta, $20 play, 5-7 with 5-7-11. And then in race 8, a $10 exacta, 8 with 2-5-11. That puts me in for my C note. Barry, you got any parting words? You got anything exciting you're doing later today?
Does sleeping count as exciting? Or
I mean, I'm going to be watching snowfall. So
we don't get that here. If snowfall's here, we should just pack it up. It's over. But I probably might dabble in some harness racing later. Maybe.
Ooh.
Do a little dabble, especially on a Thursday. You can sneak some good bets in on a Thursday night when nobody's paying attention.
I had one of those like super vivid, like realistic dreams one time that I was live in like a pick 5 or something in a harness race. And the horse that I had made just like an epic once in a lifetime, like close move. And I won like 6 figures on this. And it was so real that I literally woke up and like checked my balance to see if I indeed was a several $1,000 heir off of a ridiculous closing move in a harness race.
That's a pretty good dream, man. If it comes true, let me know, because I'm trying to get down with that too.
Oh, it's an exciting dream until you see you have $5.50 in your fucking TVG account, and then it's kind of a little bit. It's more of like a kind of. I was gonna buy a Cybertruck and just set it on fire, for the F of it.
Seems to be the move these days, huh? That's the thing to do.
Yeah. The thing about Cybertrucks, you don't have to set them on fire. They'll do it on their own.
Yeah. Well, it's funny in Daytona. There's quite a few of them around. I've seen a red one. I've seen a blue one. I've seen a rainbow colored one. So I didn't know they had different colors. I thought they were all silver. Like,
yes. Yeah. I heard it referred to as the Incel Camino recently, which is pretty awesome. I don't know.
Have you seen the inside of them? I mean, as much as they look like an eyesore, the inside is pretty nice.
It's it was the same story with the Pontiac Aztec, and we don't talk about the Pontiac Aztec fondly anymore.
The only time I saw a Pontiac Aztec was when the guy that won the first Survivor, that guy Richard, the naked guy, he won one for that, and that's the only time I've ever seen one. That's strange, right?
Congratulations on surviving on this fucking deserted island for weeks on end. Here's a Pontiac Aztec.
Well, he got $1 million too, so I would have sold the car and I'll get some nice, Ferrari.
Yeah, Lambo. You strike me as a Lambo guy.
No, I'm a low key guy. I'd go with a Porsche SUV actually.
Or
Jaguar SUV, one of those two. But yeah,
I want a pasta colored Lambo that I can, a pasta colored Lambo that I can call the Tortellini Guinea.
That's goals. We got to do that.
Yep. That's going to do it for us here at the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We're going to be back tomorrow bright and early at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with our Who's Your Single show. We're scouring all the Friday cards to give you the single that you can build all your bets around. Check it out. Then we will see you with more Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Bye-bye.